All right, you guys. So Ticket TV live streams. Like, share, and subscribe as y'all tap on in. Appreciate everybody that's gonna pull up. And I want to talk about this situation, man, because this is truly bad, y'all. This one is bad. Um, I may have miscalculated a certain part of something, uh, and I may have got one little piece wrong. But that one little piece I may have got wrong may be a big part in this entire situation, man. And you guys are not going to want to leave this video today. You guys are going to want to hear exactly what I'm about to say because I agree with the flight Mike Moradian, man. I'm starting to lean towards what he said, and it's scary, bro, for the entire integrity of the National Basketball Association. So the three people you see on your screen, of course, on your far right is Steve Ballmer. In the middle is Mark Cuban. And on the far left is Mike Moradian, the Flight Mike. As everybody pretty much knows on YouTube, he has a big channel. His channel has over nearly 1.8 million subscribers. I think 1.7 million subscribers. Now, today, Mike dropped a video, and that video he dropped blew me away completely. The video that Mike dropped today, it hurt my spirit because I know that it's probably going down, man. And I'm finna tell y'all exactly what I'm talking about. I'm finna tell y'all exactly what the hell I'm talking about, man. Matter of fact, let me put this on the screen so you guys will see what I'm talking about as far as this guy's concerned. So everybody knows where I got this from. I don't want to come in here and act like, I did this by myself or did this not. I actually was watching this brother, um, who I think he does very good content. As everybody knows, uh, he's a major channel. He has major platforms, right? So shout out to you, Flight Mike. Um, keep doing your thing, bro, because you got one on this one. When Mark Cuban came out, the former owner, majority owner, now minority for the Mavs, he came out defending Steve Ballhead on the right-hand side of your screen. Hard body. I mean, real tough. And I was just thinking they had beef in the past. Like, when they first came in the league, you guys all remember they had the DeAndre Jordan situation. Mark Cuban had went and got DeAndre Jordan in his prime to agree to sign with the Dallas Mavs. But remember, they were in the memorandum period. So that's when you can verbally agree, but you can still change your mind until you sign like 8 or 9 days later, right? Officially. So in between that time, in comes Steve Ballhead and the Clippers. That's when Doc Rivers and all of them was coaching, and CP3 and all of them, and they all went allegedly to, though they did go, they did go. They went to the house of DeAndre Jordan in Texas, and they locked DeAndre Jordan in, and they basically got him to change his mind and come away. Now, in that situation, Steve Ballmer on the right-hand side of your screen ended up getting in trouble. Steve Ballmer ended up getting punished by the NBA with nothing. They basically hit him with a $250,000 fine for what they said was inappropriate, you know, sponsorships through the team. Now, I've already told you guys, this guy Steve Ballmer is a shady guy in my opinion because why? He's already had these type of allegations against him before coming to the NBA through high school basketball, where one player allegedly was in a $6 million living place, high school. And you know what I'm saying? They did a probe. The basketball coach had to resign. All this shit is in the paperwork. Steve Ballmer's name was all in the middle of all this type of shit. Then you had the 2019 investigation that went nowhere. It just disappeared. Where you had the Raptors and you had the Lakers and them coming out saying Kawhi Leonard was asking for inappropriate benefits, right? And I showed y'all last night Well, one of those benefits they said he asked for was at least a $10 million a year in no-show sponsorship income, where payments from sponsors for endorsements or appearances that Kawhi would not actually have to fulfill, structured as off-the-books income to boost his effective earnings without counting against the NBA salary cap. Blatant cheating. But this is sad, bro, because this morning, the Flight Mike dropped a video. And I was under the impression at first that Mark Cuban had jumped out here and Mark Cuban was pro Steve Ballmer, going for Steve Ballmer because he wanted to secretly bury Steve Ballmer for that feud they had back in 2015 over DeAndre Jordan. But today the flight Mike, he brought something to the table I didn't know, and this shit is gonna blow y'all socks off. First of all, I have to start off by saying this. Mark Cuban was one of the richest owners in the league before Steve Ballmer came in the league. There were only, or was only, two owners that were richer than Mark Cuban in the NBA before Steve Ballmer came to the league in 2015. You know who those two owners are? One of them's name is James Dolan for the New York Knicks. And he currently, Pablo said he may be investigating the Knicks and the Jalen Brunson situation because Jalen Brunson took $113 million less to stay with the Knicks, and that is unheard of. The other one, which is what I showed y'all, and I told my brother Dreamers Pro the other day, this is why I don't think everybody's doing it, is Mickey Arison. Mickey Arison was the richest owner in the league before Steve Ballmer. And I didn't know that. But Mickey Arison. But their situation was different. When it was time to pay D Wade and those guys, what happened? He didn't even want to pay D Wade. If they were paying D Wade under the table, D Wade would have never went anywhere. D Wade got so upset that they would not pay him the money that they said he was going to pay him, he walked away and left. That is why I told Dreamers Pro, all these guys are not doing it. But there's something that was found out today, and I truly believe what the Flight Mike has found today, based off of the preliminary investigation for Pablo Torre, I believe that this situation is going to get deadly, because what I'm about to tell y'all today is going to blow your socks off. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Cuban was the third richest owner in the league before Steve Ballmer came. It was Mickey Arison, James Dolan, Mark Cuban. Now, I want y'all to think about something. Mark Cuban jumped out here first to take up for Steve Ballmer, and I just had to say, man, there's no way, bro. He out here, he got to be trolling, like setting this dude up. But then I went back, and when I saw the Flight Mike's video today, when he said that the NBA is about to collapse, and I told people this, they didn't want to listen. Me and Two Raw's been telling people, me and Two Raw have been telling people about the commissioner for a long time now, Adam Silver. We've been telling y'all, Adam Silver don't got no control. He ain't been doing things right. I'm telling y'all this shit. There was a man, and I had to look at closely after I watched Mike's video this morning, I had to look at something very closely. I had to look at the relationship in the aftermath, but between 2015 and now, with Steve Ballmer and Mark Cuban. Their relationship got really good. Now, that picture right there, a picture is worth 1,000 words. On the right-hand side of your screen is Steve Ballmer, left Mark Cuban. But Steve Ballmer has a certain T-shirt on. and it has a certain legendary logo on it. And this is bad because Jerry West is the logo of the National Basketball Association. Now, I told you guys this. Remember, Jerry West was working, somehow helping the Clippers. I don't know if it was official, unofficial role, but he was accused of some things. I told you guys this. And those things were put in the LA Times. The Los Angeles Times asked, "Who is Johnny Wilkes? A look at the man who is suing the Clippers and Jerry West." Now, Uncle Dennis, Kawhi's uncle, if I'm not mistaken, they came out and denied all of this guy's allegations and denied really having a relationship. But there was an article in the LA Times. And in this article, you can go look it up. It's online right now. Who is Johnny Wilkes? A look at the man who's suing the Clippers and Jerry West. And in that article, which is why always reading is fundamental, you guys. In that article, it says this. There were two players from the Dorsey High School boys basketball team who earned all Southern League honors in 1980. One's name was Johnny Wilkes, the man who sued the Clippers and Jerry West. And another one was Dennis Robertson, the uncle of Kawhi Leonard. 40 years later, Dennis Robertson has become a recognizable figure in the NBA as Clipper star Kawhi Leonard, enigmatic uncle Dennis, the man believed to have perhaps the biggest influence over the two-time NBA champions and finals MVP. But it goes on, and I gave you excerpts. You can go read the whole article. This whole article is revealing, because what I'm going to tell you today is going to blow your mind. You don't want to go anywhere for this one. Before this week, Wilkes was a virtual unknown, right? An LA native who had an unremarkable college career at Colorado and Cal State Fullerton, an international professional career in Japan, whose post-playing career has included jobs in and out of sports. Then, Wilkes filed a lawsuit Monday against the Clippers and team consultant Jerry West, alleging he was promised unfulfilled payments to help the team sign Kawhi Leonard 2 off seasons ago. Now Wilkes' claims are being investigated by the NBA, while his relationship with Robertson and Leonard has been suddenly brought into the public spotlight. Now remember, that investigation went nowhere. The NBA said, "Oh, we didn't find any wrongdoing." And I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm a full belief, and I believe my brother Too Raw and other brothers who agree with me. I love Jerry West, but if it comes in the future that any of these allegations were true, I believe the NBA logo should be changed to Michael Jeffrey Jordan immediately. Because I think these type of allegations, if sustained, would be so bad. It would be a stain on the history of the National Basketball Association. But let me go on. Remember, they tried to distance themselves like they didn't know Johnny Wilkes. But in the LA Times, there were two players from the same high school team who earned all Southern League honors in 1980. And those two players were Johnny Wilkes and Dennis Robertson. And Johnny Wilkes said he was promised $2.5 million. And he told Jerry West and the Clippers everything they needed to know 2 years before Kawhi Leonard went to the Clippers on what they needed to do to get Kawhi Leonard with the Los Angeles Clippers. This was already planned, according to Johnny Wilkes. Hence, you see Steve Ballmer wearing a Jerry West t-shirt, probably always happy for Jerry West. And this photo, I have to confirm when this was taken, but probably after Jerry West passed away, I would suppose, but before all this came out. But I had to look, and there were other photos, you guys. It's an actual photo of Jerry West, the man who was accused by Johnny Wilkes of breaking NBA rules. Steve Ballmer, and none other than Mark Cuban. Different pictures together, different. So this little group seems like it's cool. Now wait, because I'm cooking on something. Mike, on the left-hand side of your screen, known as the Flight Mike, he did a video this morning. You guys, after this video's over with, go check out his video. It says the NBA is about to collapse. And in that video, he talked about a certain legend that played for Mark Cuban. And that legend was Dirk Nowitzki. And the information he gave about Dirk Nowitzki blew my socks off. And it made me think completely different to why none of the other owners, only Mark Cuban, is out here running his mouth. For Steve Ballmer. Ladies and gentlemen, Dirk Nowitzki, we all know, the legendary forward who spent his entire 21-year NBA basketball career with the Dallas Mavericks, right, has been renowned for his undying loyalty to the Dallas Mavs franchise. He repeatedly took financial sacrifices, often significant pay cuts or below maximum deals, to help the team manage its salary cap, avoid luxury taxes, and build contending rosters around him, which I'm about to tell y'all something stupid crazy. So the estimates, you guys, have suggested that those decisions that Dirk Nowitzki made throughout his career with the Dallas Mavs and the pay cuts cost him up to $194 million in potential career earnings, compared to what he could have commanded on the open market. 2006 contract extension, Dirk Nowitzki. In September of 2006, Dirk Nowitzki signed a 4-year, $69.3 million extension running through the 2009-2010 season, which was the maximum available at the time as designated veteran extension. However, by Dirk Nowitzki locking in early, Dirk Nowitzki, early in his career, where guys are trying to get money, he forewent the opportunity to hit the unrestricted free agency in 2008, where he could have secured a 6-year maximum deal worth around $158 million as a 10-year veteran. This early commitment to the Mavs helped stabilize the Mavs organization, long-term planning, but effectively capped his earning potential early in his prime. Now, 2010, it gets more explosive. Following the 2009-2010 season, y'all, Dirk Nowitzki became an unrestricted free agent after he declined a player option for the 2010-2011 season worth $21.5 million. Dirk Nowitzki could have signed a maximum 4-year deal worth $96 million anywhere in the league. But instead, on July the 4th, 2010, Dirk Nowitzki re-signed with the Dallas Mavericks on a 4-year, $80 million contract with an early termination option after 2 years. Now, he forego $16 million total to give the Mavs more cap flexibility to build a championship roster. Now, this deal paid him only $17.3 million in 2010, 2011, and went up to $22.7 million by 2013, 2014. But that quote-unquote sacrifice, y'all, it paid off, because what happened? The Dallas Mavs won the NBA championship in 2011. 2014, the re-signing of Dirk Nowitzki. Now, after Dirk Nowitzki exercised his early termination option on the 2010 contract, which would have paid him another $22.7 million on the books for 2014, 2015, Dirk Nowitzki entered free agency again. This time he received a 4-year, $92 million max offer from the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. And G. Leezy, you an idiot. And I'm about to block your stupid ass. You said all these people do it. No, you asshole. Like, you can only find certain instances here and there. If everybody was doing it, you dumb son of a bitch, Klay Thompson would be in Golden State, you idiot. Dwayne Wade would have never left the Miami Heat, you fucking buffoon. James Harden would have never left the Philadelphia 76ers, you asshole. You a big dummy, man. Take that stupid shit you be saying over to somebody else's channel, bro. Because you sound like an idiot, boy. And you deserve to get cooked, you big dumbass nigga. The point is, the creme de la creme, the ones at the very top, let's look. Even Pat Riley, Mickey Harrison, the richest owner in the league, they wanted LeBron James and all those guys to take pay cuts. But why did LeBron James leave? Because he couldn't get the perks he wanted. He couldn't get all the extra shit. His guys to fly on the planes and all this other shit. No, you're going to do it our way, son. Or you're not going to do it at all. So everybody doesn't do it. You crooked tooth bastard. Back to what I was saying before I was interrupted by a shit stain. In 2014, after exercising his early termination option on his 2010 contract, which would have paid Dirk Nowitzki another $22.7 million for 2014, 2015, Dirk Nowitzki entered free agency again. He received a 4-year, $92 million max offer from the Lakers and the Houston Rockets. Now, on July the 15th, 2014, instead, he turned down. I want y'all to think about this. Dirk Nowitzki turned down the opportunity to go play with Kobe. The Lakers offered him a 4-year, $92 million deal. So did the Houston Rockets. No state taxes in Texas. He turned that down. And on July the 15th, 2014, before Steve Ballmer came in the league, Dirk Nowitzki signed a 3-year, $25 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. Let me repeat myself again. He turned down 2 4-year, $92 million deal, max deals, with the Lakers and the Rockets, just to sign a 3-year, $25 million deal to stay with the Dallas Mavericks. at an annual value of only $8.3 million per year, representing roughly a 65% pay cut from his previous salary and leaving about $67 to $72 million on the table over the life of the deal. Now, this drastic reduction, dropping from $22.7 million to $8 million annually, freed up cap space for the Dallas Mavericks to pursue free agents and rebuild after missing the playoffs. 2016, he re-signed again with the Dallas Mavericks on July the 27th, 2016. The final year of the deal he signed in 2014. Dirk Nowitzki signed a new 2-year. This is when he's older now, you guys. Dirk signed a new 2-year, $40 million deal extension for the 2016, 2017, 2017, 2018 seasons, with a $25 million player option for the second year. Now, this was actually a raise from the $8.3 million he was set to earn in 2016, 2017, but it included built-in flexibility for future cuts. It wasn't a pay cut at the time, but part of his ongoing pattern of team-friendly structuring. 2017, his re-signing. Now, exercising his player option would have paid Dirk Nowitzki $25 million that season for the 2018 or 2017-2018 season under his 2016 deal. Instead, he declined that option, became a free agent, allowed Dallas to create cap space for other signings, and on July the 6th, 2017, he re-signed a 2-year, $10 million deal. $5 million only guaranteed for 2017, 2018. He was set to make $25 million. Team option for 2018, 2019. A massive $20 million pay cut for that season alone. Now, this move was explicitly to help the rebuilding Mavs attract talent. In 2018, he re-signed with the Dallas Mavericks again. The Mavericks exercised their $5 million team option for Dirk Nowitzki in 2018, 2019. But Dirk Nowitzki ultimately restructured his contract that year or confirmed the 1-year, $5 million deal on July the 23rd, 2018 for his final NBA season. This was well below what a 40-year-old Hall of Famer could have shopped for somewhere else, potentially $10 to $15 million on a contender, continuing his tradition of prioritizing quote-unquote alleged loyalty over maximum pay in his twilight years. And also, right, excuse me, G Shaw, you a fucking idiot, bro. Just stay away from me, dog, because you a goddamn fool. You a maniac, nigga. You don't have no brains, nigga. Just stay away from me. Something's wrong with you, nigga. Go take your medicine, bro. Something wrong with you, nigga. You have brain problems, nigga. Brain problems. When you idiots say this goes on all the time, nigga, this shit is, we talking about 10 years ago, nigga. You idiot. There's only 2 situations you can think of in the league right now that jumps out at you. Jalen Brunson's $113 million pay cut and Kawhi capping ass Leonard. Those are the only 2 situations. James Harden, best friend, he fell out with his best friend. Don't you think if all these niggas are getting paid under the table, James Harden would still be in Philly right now? Daryl Morey would have told James Harden, hey, James, you know I love you. I got you. Don't even worry. We ain't going to pay you on the books. We're going to give you some under the books. Nope. Get your ass out of here, nigga. We can't pay you. Klay Thompson, the immortal Klay Thompson, 4-time world champion, Splash Brother, had a chance to retire a Golden State Warrior. The Golden State Warriors and Klay's mind lowballed him. Don't you think that if the Golden State Warriors was paying niggas under the table, they would say, Klay, don't worry about this shit, man. This is just for the books. We're going to pay you under the table so we can get cap space to help get more players to help us win a championship. Klay would have stayed in Golden State. If that was the case, you dumb son of a bitch. You an idiot, boy. A fucking idiot. And I blocked your stupid ass, nigga. You an idiot coming here with all caps like you on crunk juice, nigga. Sit your dumb ass down somewhere. Mark Cuban, you have some things to answer, sir. And now people may start looking at Dirk Nowitzki very closely. Now, that championship run by Dirk Nowitzki, the year they won a championship, here's the ironic thing that happened that year that made Dirk Nowitzki look so great. The guy they acquired, Caron Butler, who was an all-star, he was hurt, and Dirk still won the chip. Caron Butler got hurt, didn't even play in the finals, and Dirk won the chip with damn near role players. An old-ass Sean Marion and a bunch of role players. So their big acquisition, Caron Butler, he didn't even play. He was hurt. And Dirk still won. He won with J.J. Barea and the motherfuckers, man. Come on, bro. Role players. He won the chip. So that's why everybody praised Dirk. But still, that situation, if Dirk and them tried to cheat the system, bro, that's horrific. Right? Think about who they had on that team that year with Dallas. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no all-star super team, world-beating team. No. They had Dirk, a bunch of role players, let's keep it real, and the other star player, Caron Butler. He was hurt. He ain't even play. He ain't even play the whole finals. And they still didn't need 7 games to beat LeBron James. That lets you know how bad it was. Right? So, when I look at this situation, it now makes me think of Jerry West differently. It makes me question him. It makes me question Mark Cuban. And it makes me question Steve Ballmer because Mark Cuban's the only one. Peep this now. Peep what I'm telling y'all now. Right? This is the reason why I now have to reconsider my criticisms of LeBron James asking for the max being an older player. Because damn it, we criticize LeBron James for being that old asking for the max. Why you that old asking for all the money? Well, shit, if LeBron James know these other motherfucker like Whitney is getting all this money under the table, maybe LeBron doesn't want to go that route. Say, nah, just give my money officially. Because we know the Lakers wasn't doing that because they wouldn't even have paid. They didn't even pay Kawhi coming off the championship. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't cheat that for Kawhi. Think about what I just said. All these players are taking the money. It's the max money they can get in this era. Then when you look at the Spurs with Tim Duncan taking those hometown discounts, you know, you look at it, but then you say, well, then they would have did everything Kawhi wanted them to do and keep Kawhi. If they was cheating, right? Why let the young Kawhi go? Tim Duncan was getting old taking pay cuts. Y'all still had Kawhi. If they was doing it, they would have paid Kawhi and kept Kawhi, right? Think about that. They would have gave Kawhi and his uncle everything they wanted. Now think about what I just said, right? Now, here's the reason why a guy like LeBron James would not need to take money under the table. Them niggas get so much money outside of basketball. LeBron James don't make more money outside of basketball than he do in basketball off endorsements. So he don't need that shit. But a weak knee, no charisma, funny face, funny laugh having ass nigga like Kawhi. I mean, he probably was trying to get it how he lived. He can't do that. He can't demand the same type of money and sponsorships as Zion and all these other guys who have charisma, who are coming getting all this other money and stuff like that. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. Right? And then when you look at certain money, I'm telling y'all this, bro. This shit right here, and you looking at the 2 top guys right here, 2 of the top guys in their era. The top guy in the whole of all time is Steve Ballmer. And one of the top guys in his time, Mark Cuban. And Mike brought this up in his video that I got to give Mike credit because he made me look deeper. And now it looks like all those things that Johnny Wilkes said, man, bro, somebody got to interview Johnny Wilkes. Somebody got to interview Johnny Wilkes. And like Mike said in his video this morning, bro, the feds is investigating this. Go listen to Mike's video. The feds are investigating this. Right? The feds. Now think about this. The reason why I think that the deal with the Miami Heat, when all three of them took less to stay, was on point and par, because look at the reasons why they all fell out with Pat Riley. Over money. If they was getting paid under the table, that money would have never been a problem. Mickey Harrison was the richest owner in the league. Think about that. Those three guys legitimately took pay cuts to make the team better. And I'm just be honest with y'all, and y'all niggas know I don't like LeBron James. All this time we've criticized LeBron James. In Miami, LeBron James took the pay cut, and he said, yo, I don't want to take no more pay cuts. Remember he said that shit? LeBron said, I don't want to take no more pay cuts, man. I want to get all my money, man. Fuck F all this. That would let you know that he wasn't cheating, taking money under the table illegally. LeBron James didn't have to. The nigga had a $100 million contract with Nike coming out of high school. But they wasn't getting those perks with Miami. Miami was running the game straight. Look what happened with D-Wade. D-Wade, Pat Riley promised D-Wade he's going to pay him that money, then didn't pay him. If Pat Riley didn't want to pay him, they had to pay his ass on the table and say, D-Wade, we're going to give you this right here. We'll get this. They did the same type of shit you seen with Dirk Nowitzki. Those type of contracts. And just said, D, we got you on the table, dog. Nope. See, y'all got to understand one thing. And I was trying to tell my boy Dreamers Pro this. It's a difference when we talking about doing shit illegal and legally. Let me tell y'all something. Here's what's legal. An NBA team can get a sponsorship and introduce them to you, and the sponsorship pay you legally outside of basketball, right? The sponsorship, but you're doing work for the sponsorship. So let me give y'all an example. If the Lakers have McDonald's and they say, yo, Bron, we got this McDonald's sponsor that want to sponsor you, bro. We're going to hook you up with this McDonald's sponsor. They say they want to pay you whatever they're going to pay you, like $50 million or $100 million. As long as the McDonald's sponsor is paying LeBron James, and it's not the Lakers that are paying LeBron James through the McDonald's sponsor under the table for LeBron James to take pay cuts and help the salary cap, that's legal. Players do that all the time. Teams do that all the time. What's illegal is what's going on with Steve Ballhead. Is that Kawhi Leonard and what they, Toronto Raptors and other teams, the Lakers and them alleged, right, wanted money off the books funneled to him to boost his effective earnings without counting against the NBA salary cap. That is illegal. That is cheating. And that is what I'm telling my boy, Dreamers Pro. It's a difference. A team can hit you up and say, hey, man, look, this sponsorship, bro, we got sponsorships that want to sign you. That's legal. That's legal. It happens all the time. That is legal. What's illegal is if a team says, hey, man, look, we're going to hook this sponsorship up and we're going to funnel money to you through this sponsor, right? And we're going to lower your money on the contract, but we're going to pay you through this sponsor. That's illegal. Listen to what I just said. Listen to what I just said. And you got a dude says, why do all these niggas care about money so much to try dumb shit like this? Because the love of money is the root of all evil, brother. The love of money. But here's the thing. Sometimes when guys want to get paid, they'll get rich or die trying, brother. So when you see a guy like Steve Ballmer, who's worth 170, probably worth $200-300 billion, that we don't even, they just tell you what he's worth. He's probably worth way more than that, right? He's got money just all over the place. You looking at this guy, he's opening up. You know he wants to open up an arena. You know he wants to do all these big things, but he ain't got no star. He's in a bad organization that's been known as a shit stain for his whole time, and he's trying to come turn it around and bring stars to the team. Well, what do? Sometimes you get desperate. Go back and read this story right here. I'm telling everybody. The Lakeside basketball coach story with Steve Ballmer. This shit is crazy. This is right before he came in the league. This is why I told y'all Adam Silver's in fucking trouble, bro. Because they're gonna say, why didn't y'all vet this guy? Right? I want y'all to think about what I'm saying to y'all, right? I want everybody to think about what I'm saying to y'all, right? Right? Now I'm gonna tell y'all this right now, right? I want to tell y'all this. So Steve Ballmer, and you guys can go, and this is all in the Seattle Times newspaper, right? You guys can go check the date. This was back in October the 8th, 2014. This is before Steve Ballmer came to the league. And to the brother who says, Captain Lee says nothing will happen to Ballmer, put your life on it. Put your life on it. If you think nothing's gonna happen to Steve Ballmer, you a damn fool, boy. They finna hit that nigga with the sonic boom. Because the feds involved, you idiot. The feds are in. This is the thing people gotta understand. This is out in the open now. All the paperwork and evidence has been presented to the public. There's nothing Adam Silver can do to get her. Adam Silver even had to come around and turn from that shit. I didn't know them. He had to come back. Oh, well, see, I know. Yeah. Boom. That's why you're hearing all these news saying they're going to destroy the Clippers with this next situation when the punishment comes down. Right? The Clippers are going to be destroyed. But I want to tell y'all this. Go back and look at this. And people are going to ask this question after this is over with. Why didn't Adam Silver in the league, think about this, vet this owner? Steve Ballmer had this shit, and y'all got to go read this article from the Seattle Times. He had this shit on his hands, and it makes him look like a dude that's willing to pay any cost to win. Any cost to win. Look at this. Now, the Lakeside High School was a prestigious private high school, right? In Seattle, Washington, right? Now, this is the famous alma mater of who, y'all? Bill Gates. Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Now, it has long been renowned for its academic excellence and activities like chess rather than athletics, right? So in 2008, its boys basketball team, the Lions, was struggling badly. They finished within 2 wins they finished with only 2 wins in district play, right? Including a 66-point loss. Now, I want y'all to think about this, right? And it went winless in league games. Now, Steve Ballmer, who was the former Microsoft CEO and current owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, he had 3 sons who attended Lakeside High School, right? And they played on this basketball team. Now, Steve Ballmer, he's always been a passionate fan, right? He's always been a passionate fan, right? I want y'all to think about that. Basketball. Steve Ballmer's always been there. And my boy 2 Raw, he already know what time it is. I see you in there. You on it, 2 Raw. You starting to catch my drift. Because this shit getting ugly. You see how he had to try to deny he knew anything about that? Because the feds is watching, nigga. It's an active federal and SEC investigation. So what does that mean? They've already asked questions about Steve Ballmer. So that means they're already looking at the NBA. Adam Silver had to change that shit up quick. That nigga is shitting bricks right now, in my opinion, trying to figure this situation, because they're going to go and they might go back and look at the 2019 investigation when they said that the NBA said they didn't find nothing. Why y'all didn't find nothing? If you had teams that were saying all this stuff that happened, they're alleging all these things happened, why didn't nothing come from that investigation? But let's go back to this. So Steve Ballmer had 3 sons who attended this high school and played on that sorry-ass basketball team, right? Now, y'all know how passionate of a fan Steve Ballmer is. He's always been that way, a rich guy who loves basketball, right? Now, he became deeply invested in turning around this program, right? So, especially as his oldest son reached his junior year. So, he channeled his inner resources and put his energy into this team. He viewed it, according to that reports, as a personal project before he owned a professional team. Now, right? The key actions attributed to Steve Ballmer included, and this is the year before he came to the NBA, and they didn't investigate this. Listen now, creating a non-profit foundation. What did Kawhi Leonard do, y'all? He created a non-profit. Well, I shouldn't say non-profit. He created a LLC, I should say. KL2 Aspire LLC. Let me find out right now. Let me see if that's a non-profit. Is KL2 Aspire LLC a non-profit? Oh, shit. Let me see. No. Okay. It's not a nonprofit. So this is not a nonprofit. Let me go on. So Kawhi is not a nonprofit. It is a for-profit limited liability company, and it was formed November the 22nd, 2021, and registered in New York with ties to California business records, right? And it's linked to Kawhi Leonard, as we all know, right? So LLCs like what Kawhi had are typically structured for private business purposes, such as investments or endorsements, and not for charitable or tax-exempt nonprofit activities. So now let's get back to Steve Ballhead. So Steve Ballhead, you guys, right, as I told y'all, in collaboration with a man named Steve Gordon, a former Seattle Supersonics, right, former NBA executive named Steve Gordon, Steve Ballmer established a nonprofit focused on basketball development. Now, this group with Steve Ballmer and his own sister on its advisory council funneled money into this high school program, you guys, reportedly paying the coach around $10,000 a month as a quote-unquote gift. This made me look at Tyronn Lue now. This made me look at Tyronn Lue. Let's keep going. Not saying Tyronn Lue's guilty, but it makes me look at Tyronn Lue real crazy now. The foundation aimed to recruit talented minority players. Remember I told y'all that a dude that was close to Steve Ballmer, alleged that Steve Ballmer got so mad when his team was getting their ass kicked with his son on it that he said, I got to go get some black players in here. That's what they said, right? Right. That's what they said. Now let's look, right? So it said this group was Steve Ballmer and his sister on an advisory council. And Ango Williams, no, I don't want to see a black man go to prison for getting caught up in bullshit, nigga. You dumb son of a bitch. Because if what they said about Kawhi Leonard is true, which Toronto Raptors, the Lakers, and all these dudes alleging that this dude wanted illegal shit, bruh, if he did this with the LA strippers, which they got this nigga's signature and paperwork, and they got goddamn on filings, bank transfers, and all this other shit, nigga can end up in federal prison for the rest of his fucking life, you goddamn on fool. You niggas is stuck on stupid and a bunch of idiots, nigga. You gonna get exposed today, though. So it says, and back, let's go back to the high school. The year before he came to the NBA. Now, peep this, right? No, I did not say he was dead. I said that the thing said he was dead, but he's not. That was a different Uncle Dennis. I came back and told y'all that in a different video. I said I would come back and tell you. Do your research, sir, before you come on my channel, sir. So anyways, this group with Steve Ballmer and his sister on the advisory council funnel money, and guess what? Some of these people are trolls. One of them niggas might be one of these dudes linked to Kawhi. Y'all niggas mad because y'all getting exposed? Bitch ass nigga. That weak knee ass nigga getting exposed? Nigga, get on your knees, boy. Get on your knees. Y'all won't go over there and talk to that white boy like that. Y'all ain't gonna go over there and talk that shit to Flight Mike like that, but you'll come over here fuck with me? I think's not. So anyways, this group with Steve Ballmer and his sister on his advisory council funnel money into the program, this high school program, reportedly paying the coach around $10,000 a month, a high school coach, y'all, as a quote-unquote gift. Now, the foundation aimed to recruit talented minority players to diversify and strengthen the team that was full of all white players. with Steve Ballmer reportedly saying in a private conversation, "I'm going to open up a foundation and we're going to get black people in here," end quote. So the recruitment and the admission charges or changes. So the school, according to this report, you guys can go look at this online. This was the year before Steve Ballmer came to the league. He wasn't investigated by this for the league, vetted for this. The school allegedly relaxed its rigorous admission standards for basketball recruits, bypassing the standard committee process in some cases. Now, talented players from diverse backgrounds were targeted through networks tied to the nonprofit, and some received special perks, such as lavish accommodations. One player's address listed a booster's $6 million lakeside home or full-time tutoring to maintain eligibility. Now, the coaching and program overhaul, Steve Ballmer and his allies influenced hiring, pushing for coaches aligned with the vision. The emphasis shifted towards building a competitive squad, even if it meant, right, prioritizing athletics over academics for some athletes, contrasting with Lakeside's intellectual reputation. Now, these efforts paid off dramatically. Within 5 years, by 2013, the Lakeside Lions transformed from a trash-ass school that couldn't win no games into a powerhouse. They went from winless in the district to winning the district championship for the first time in 25 years and reaching the state finals. However, the methods sparked backlash. In 2014, a Seattle Times, as y'all see right here on your screen, this newspaper, the Seattle Times investigation exposed the tactics, raising questions about violations of the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association prep sports rules, which prohibited recruitment based on athletics and undue influence by boosters. Now, critics highlighted ethical issues, including the exploitation of minority student athletes at an elite, predominantly wealthy institution, and how it mirrored bigger problems in youth sports. No formal penalties were imposed on Lakeside at the time, but the story embarrassed the school and Steve Ballmer, who was then in the process of buying the Los Angeles Clippers. The program eventually faded after the scrutiny, with key players departing and the powerhouse era ending in 2016. Now, right? The coach, right, was forced to resign, right? So the head basketball coach, whose name was Tavio Hobson, he resigned in April of 2015 following that investigation I told y'all about. Now, that investigation found out that the high school coach, Hobson, who also ran a nonprofit, a plus youth program funded by none other than Steve Ballhead, had created an improper conflict by sponsoring out-of-season basketball activities with Lakeside High School players, violating the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association's rules on coach involvement in external programs. Now, Coach Hobson had been hired in 2009 and was key to the program's turnaround, but the school offered him a chance to stay only if he altered his nonprofit role, which he declined. Lakeside's head of school, Bernie No, took responsibility for a misinterpretation of the rules and noted steps to correct it. This came amid broader scrutiny of Steve Ballmer's influence on the team, right? Crazy work. So that wasn't even vetted. And during the end of that time, he was buying the Clippers. So normally, these people would vet you, vet your business practices, check allegations against you, all of these things. And Steve Ballmer shit, ladies and gentlemen, it goes back to Microsoft. It goes back to Microsoft. Steve Ballmer and Microsoft. And a man that went by the name of Bill Gates. Bill Gates. We're going to talk about this right now. So Steve Ballmer, you guys, right, who came into the NBA as the former CEO of Microsoft from 2000 to 2014, right? So during that high school shit, he was still the CEO of Microsoft. During that high school shit I told y'all about. But this shit is going to blow y'all socks off, right? Now, a lot of people liked, but a lot of people disliked Steve Ballmer because of his personal persona, a mix of his leadership decisions, and specific events that happened during his tenure at Microsoft. Now, first of all, there were strategic missteps at Microsoft. Steve Ballmer's time as CEO of Microsoft was often criticized for Microsoft's sluggish response to the emerging tech trends. Now, he famously downplayed, remember this, the iPhone's potential in 2007, saying that iPhone had no chance of gaining market share. And Microsoft's late entry into mobile, the Windows Phone, and its failure to compete with iOS and Android is a big mark against Steve Ballmer. Similarly, the company was slow to embrace cloud computing compared to rivals like Amazon and Google. Though Azure later became a success, many see these as missed opportunities that cost Microsoft its dominance in tech during the 2000s. Now, the acquisitions and financial moves, Steve Ballmer's acquisition of Nokia's phone business for $7.2 billion in 2013 has widely been reviewed as a flop, with Microsoft writing off the investment shortly after. Now, the $26 billion LinkedIn acquisition, right, in 2016, which is post-Ballmer, is sometimes retroactively tied to Steve Ballmer's error strategy. Though he wasn't directly involved, some investors and analysts point to Microsoft's stock stagnation, right? Or stagnation, I should say, under the leadership of Steve Ballmer, right? Now, shares barely moved for a decade, frustrating his shareholders, right? Now, his public persona, people hated this about him, that he's bombastic, high energy style, think sweaty, shouting developers, developers, developers at conferences, rubs some people the wrong way. Critics found it unprofessional or overly aggressive, contrasting with the quieter, more polished demeanor of peers like Steve Jobs or Satya Nadella. His intense loyalty to Microsoft Windows-centric model was seen as rigid, stifling innovation in a rapidly changing tech landscape. Now, also the employment and industry sentiment. Now, inside Microsoft, Steve Ballmer's stack ranking performance review system was deeply unpopular, fostering a cutthroat culture that many say hampered collaboration and creativity in the organization. Now, industry observers and former employees, right, often describe Steve Ballmer as out of touch with the shift towards mobile and consumer-focused tech, some calling him a sales guy who prioritized enterprise over innovation. Now, Steve Ballmer's public gaffes and memes and larger-than-life antics like his wild stage performances of laughing off iPhone became fodder for mockery of him. Clips of his over-the-top enthusiasm circulate online, painting him as a caricature, I should say, of corporate excess. This didn't help his image with younger, tech-savvy crowds who value sleek branding over his old-school intensity, right? Now, again, right? Steve Ballmer, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, bro. This situation, now that Mark Cuban decided to put himself head first, is going to be um, on another level. I'm telling y'all this. It's going to be on another level. So I think that we all going to have to take a look at how this situation pans out because Mark Cuban put himself out here. Mark Cuban, in my opinion, should not have said anything and just let Pablo Torre cook. But since Mark Cuban said something, now you got dudes like the Flight Mike and all these dudes looking at you, right? And this is the only guy. Remember, Mark Cuban's the only guy that's really been out here, standing out here for Steve Ballmer. He's the only guy. So everybody's looking like, why is this crazy idiot coming out here running his mouth for Steve Ballmer? Then people start looking at his background, and up pops Dirk. So you see it in a few rare instances. The Dirk situation got people's eyebrows raised now. The Jalen Brunson situation with the Knicks got people's eyebrows raised, right? Raise people's eyebrows on this. I want y'all to think about this. So a lot of people are going to be looking into these situations to kind of see, you know, what is the outcome? How does this shit pan out? What happens in the aftermath of all of these revelations, man? This is truly a sad situation um, for the National Basketball Association, man. And it just goes to show y'all how Adam Silver does not have his, you know, he doesn't have control of this situation. It's sad. It really is sad. It really is sad to watch this thing play out like this, man, because the NBA is looking very bad right now in all of this, man. And they're not looking like they crack, especially with all the other shit that we see going on as well. Not just the one thing I told y'all, but the entire, what should I say, group of things I told y'all about. So I gave y'all a list of things I told y'all about, and I said, bro, this shit don't look good. And now you add that with everything else we looking at now, man. Mark Cuban looks really bad, man. That dude look bad, bro. He look real bad, man. And I don't see how Mark Cuban's gonna get around this now because he put himself in a pot to where people gonna be analyzing him now alongside Steve Ballhead. And now with that situation, like I said, anytime these guys take major pay cuts, people gonna be looking at it. And now I promise y'all this, you're not gonna see nobody else out here taking those stupid major pay cuts now. Ain't gonna happen. Because they know everybody, first thing they're gonna do is start looking at why would this guy? Because think about this. Why would Jalen Brunson take $113 million pay cut in his prime? Think about it. And then as soon as they did that, what do they have? All the Villanova boys over there with the New York Knicks. And then now they're able, they just re-signed, uh, what's that boy's name they re-signed, y'all? The forward, the small forward they re-signed? I forget his name. the Iron Man of the NBA, play all the games. I forget his name. Y'all can remind me of his name. Now all of a sudden they re-sign him. Make it make sense. So when you see situations like that, Mikal Bridges, yep. When you see situations like that, those are the situations that poke out. That's why I told Dreamers Pro it's not happening all the time. But when you see situations like that, yeah, man, listen, bro. I'm telling y'all this. So again, bro, those are the only two real situations. Tell me any other superstar in the league that's going through, or star in the league that's really going through that type of situation. I told y'all, the Clippers didn't even want to pay Paul George. Paul George got so mad the Clippers didn't even want to. Paul George wanted to take a pay cut. The Clippers didn't want to pay him. Paul George on his podcast like, look, Kawhi took a pay cut, and Paul George didn't even know Kawhi was getting that bread on the table because he would not have said that. He said, yo, give me the same thing y'all getting paying Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi took a little less. Give me that. The only thing I think Paul George knew is that they was going to get him traded over there. That's it. I don't think he knew all this other shit that was going on behind the scenes. He might have heard about the shit in Toronto that they alleged in the Lakers and shit, but he probably didn't think, because if that was the case, Paul George would have probably been getting paid. That nigga be like, man, yeah, shit, y'all got to break me off. So, yeah, man, that's why I told y'all, you got to look at situations. If this was going on rampant, Klay Thompson would have been doing that. Bro, they would have, the Golden State Warriors who print money, they would have damn sure kept Klay Thompson as a warrior for life. They'd have paid Klay under the table, said, Klay, we're gonna give you this bread under the table, man, and we're gonna put less on your contract on the books so we can get more help. Klay would have easily took that deal, stayed with the Warriors. Klay didn't want to leave the Warriors. He left the Warriors because they disrespected him and didn't want to pay him. Think about that. Same thing with D Wade in the Miami Heat. Same thing with James Harden and the Philadelphia 76ers. And him and Daryl Morey fell out, what? Over money. They didn't even want to pay this dude the max under the cap. That's why I try and tell y'all this. So all these teams are not doing that. And it's not illegal for a team to introduce you to a sponsor if a sponsor pays you for your sponsorship work. What's illegal is if a team gets an illegal company, pays that company money to pay you under the table. That's illegal. And ain't no legitimate company doing that shit. And you think that Nike, McDonald's, all these other companies that have sponsorship, you think them motherfuckers getting in that type of shit and putting themselves in a fit? Man, no. That's not happening. They got too much to lose to put their company's entire business in them type of situation. That's why I be trying to tell these dudes, you got to be a certain type of stupid to believe that this is just all the time going on. No. Now, can I hook you up with this person or that person? Yeah. Hey, dog, look, we're going to hook you up with this sponsorship right there. That's fine. And they're going to take care of you, man. They're going to pay you some good bread, and they got you. Hey, a team can do that. But what a team can't do is to say, look, bro, we're going to have this fake sponsorship. Like, it's going to look like a sponsorship, but what we're going to do is we're going to funnel our money through the sponsorship, and they're going to pay you with that money. You ain't even got to do nothing. Now, that's illegal. Those are illegal benefits and perks to circumvent the cap. That's illegal. Y'all got to understand the rules. So when my boy Dreamers Pro say, hey, man, I think this happens all the time. No, it don't, nigga. No, it don't. No, it don't. Because you don't have that many sham companies running around here like that, bro. And legitimate business companies ain't risking doing something under the table and risk their entire multi-trillion-dollar companies for Kawhi Leonard or an NBA player. Man, get the fuck out of it, man. That's not happening, dog. That's not happening. Y'all are thinking of teams saying, hey, man, look, we can hook you up with this sponsor, that sponsor. That's not illegal. If the sponsor's paying you and you doing your work for the sponsor, that's not illegal. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, right? That's not illegal. For example, if the Boston Celtics say, Tatum, we want you to stay, and this other sponsorship, they want to sign you and want to do a deal with you here in Boston too, blah, 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 And that sponsorship, they pay Tatum. Tatum does his work, whatever like that with that sponsor, and the team is not funneling money through the sponsor. Bro, the Clippers funneled $118 million so far through a sham company, bro. That's not happening. I'm sorry, bro. That's not happening all the time. That's why I keep trying to tell these people, bro, you have to use your brains. These people finna head to prison off this shit, bro. They already asking the dude in the federal investigation, right? Interrogations, they already asking about Steve Ballmer. Bro, that's all you need to know. A mofo asks you about Steve Ballmer in a federal interrogation, bro. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. That's how you know they on you, that they asking him about Steve Ballmer. Why else would they be asking about Steve Ballmer? And when they asked him about Steve Ballmer, that nigga lawyer was so scared of Steve Ballmer. He's like, no, don't answer that. Send the transcripts. He said, no, don't answer that. Steve Ballmer got so much money, he was like, hey, man, don't answer that right now, man. That dude pled the fifth. So what you think gonna happen when they try to run his time up on him and say, hey, man, look, Steve Ballmer said you a con artist, you con him. You know what I'm saying? Now, you facing all this prison time right now because your admitted role in this crime. But if you roll Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard, these guys, we'll give you lesser time. What you think he gonna do? You think he gonna take that 30, 35 years he facing? Or 15? That's the reason why Adam Silver and them got to watch what they say, because they know the feds are involved. And that's an NBA franchise. And you never know how far up this can go. So that's why Adam Silver came out denying that shit. Think about this. Oh, I don't know anything about that shit. Man, that nigga ain't stupid. That nigga don't want the feds over in the NBA league office. You think Adam Silver want the feds sniffing around the league in the SEC? Because they'll come right up to that motherfucker and knock on the door and smell your cologne, nigga. That's the part these buffoons and weirdos on YouTube don't understand. That's why when they say, oh, this happened all the time. No, it doesn't, you idiot. It doesn't. That not only is that shit against the NBA rules, it's fucking illegal. It's illegal. It's against the federal and SEC laws. It's called money laundering, wire fraud, all kind of different charges I told y'all about. So that's why Adam Silver came out and was like, hey, man, I never frankly heard of it come. I never knew anything about it. He had to say that in public. Steve Ballmer had to keep denying this shit. He can't come out and say, yeah, I was wrong. If this wasn't a federal investigation, and this is a normal situation where they didn't have no legal problems, like federal problems, maybe he can come out and say, man, look, I was wrong, man. Hit me with my punishment, bro. They have to deny this shit now. Because it's a federal and SEC investigation. That's the part these dumbasses on YouTube don't understand. Be trying to explain to them niggas. And they gonna see. The feds ain't just gonna jump out at you. They gonna cook and make sure they get that information before they come hit you. They've already interviewed 7 of the employees from Aspiration. 2 of those employees went on Pablo Torres' show and said that deal was done to circumvent the NBA salary cap. What you think they told the feds? That's why I be telling these dummies on YouTube. And Adam Silver Slipper took his dumb ass up there. He had to say that. He didn't know. But then guess what? He got ethered by Pablo Torre. Why? He got put in a Dulo twist because Pablo Torre came out and said, no. You have to know. You are the league commissioner. Anytime a deal is worth $300 million, and that's a primary sponsorship deal, it has to go through the league to be approved. And then that's when dumbass Adam Silver came back out on Front Office Sports in an interview online and was like, oh, no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant in the context. Nah, nigga, we know what you said. We know what you said. Right? These dudes know this is not something to play. That's why when all these dummies run around YouTube, hey, ain't nothing gonna happen. Nigga, y'all niggas on something. And then when this shit turn out that they gonna coming down with Fed charge investigations against if they come against investigation or charges with Steve Ballmer or Kawhi Leonard, I'm gonna sit back and just be like, man, sniffing around the league office now, trying to find out how much the NBA knew about this corporation aspiration, because it's connected to the league. That's the part. What y'all think? The feds just stopped the investigation? No, they're gonna find out everybody. That's why they asked Sandsberg in his deposition. They asked him, "Yo, when the company was failing, was anybody still investing?" He said, "Yeah." They said, "Who?" He said, "Steve Ballmer." Game over, nigga. Game over. And see, this is the part where Steve Ballmer can fuck around and go to prison. If they could prove Steve Ballmer knew that this company was not legit, but was funneling money through him, if they can prove Steve Ballmer knew this company was legit and still was funneling money through him, bro, that's elite. That is federal crime. That's why I try to tell y'all, Steve Ballmer ain't got no shit. They have to deny this shit. And everybody keep talking about, hey man, ain't no billionaire in trouble. Are you niggas crazy? This is called white collar crimes. You got billionaires in prison every day for this shit. Every day for white collar crimes. Billionaires going to prison bro, they put Martha Stewart in prison, bro. They put Martha Stewart in prison, bro. For smaller shit. But these years that's here, bro, this shit is crazy. Sam Bankman-Fried, the whole FTX scandal. FTX was all on these NBA courts. The Miami Heat scored all these NBA courts. Look what happened. And we've been telling y'all about Adam Silver. Shout out to T Price coming here too. T Price been telling them niggas too on this channel for the longest about Steve Ballmer. This dude's commissioner, man, have ruined the league. And we talked about it for other reasons, right? So that's why when these cats come in here and talk about, hey, man, it's just LeBron James. No, man. That's yellow journalism and bullshit, bro. You got to keep that shit 100 all the way across the board. A lot of niggas don't want to do it. These niggas just jockstrap booty hole sniffers. Period. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they channels is dead, nigga. So that's just what it is, man. And I'm just keeping it real with y'all. But this shit right here is not no game. It's not no game, bro. At all. Think about this. You think that the you think that the feds are going to go investigate and fuck with Steve Ballmer, but not LeBron James if they had something, nigga? Steve Ballmer got more money than LeBron James to fight any of this shit. Way more money. Think about this. So when Steve Ballmer was sitting up there crying, saying, they conned me. At first, I ain't believe his ass. But now that all this paperwork is coming out, man, listen, bro. I told y'all, this seemed like one of them situations where, let me give you an example. If there was two thieves, let's say somebody goes inside of Walmart right now and robs Walmart, right? At gunpoint, goes in there, takes the money from the cash registers, and they walk outside of Walmart and they're heading to the getaway car, right? Now, let's say they head to the getaway car and somebody else in the parking lot pulls out a gun on them and takes the money they just stole from Walmart from them. Guess what? He can't call the cops to say, I got robbed. Why? Nigga, because you just committed a crime yourself. So all this time that Steve Ballmer supposedly got conned, why ain't Steve Ballmer sued the company to get his money back? $118 million. Why haven't Steve Ballmer sued that company, Sandsberg and them, to get his money back if they conned him? Why haven't Steve Ballmer sued Pablo Torre? Because Pablo and them niggas got receipts. Can't sue receipts, nigga. Can't sue bank records. Can't sue when he got people's signatures on paperwork and LLCs. Can't sue. It's kind of hard to sue when they got you on bank statements. This is why I try to tell y'all this. So when I tell y'all about a federal investigation, this was due to sloppiness. And then you got motherfuckers running around here talking about LeBron James is the reason. Man, them niggas is fucking idiots, bro. And you should unsubscribe from any dumb son of a bitch who say something stupid like that. He don't have nothing to do with this shit, right? This shit right here was in the paperwork because the company went bankrupt. So it looks like a situation where Steve Ballmer allegedly was going to use this company to funnel the money to pay Kawhi Leonard. Right? Use this company to funnel the money to pay Kawhi. But the company was like, nah, we're going to take that shit, nigga. We taking that fucking bread. And you can't snitch because you doing something wrong. So he keeps putting bread in. Right? Because he has no choice. Because now, what's happening? Uncle Dennis is on text messages inquiring about shit. Hey, man, what's up with that bread, man? It's been 14 days. What's up with that contract, nigga? So you have to keep going through it like this. Can't pay Kawhi straight up. It's too obvious if you pay Kawhi off the record straight up. It's always going to be a money trail. Always. Right? Think about what I just said. So now, what happens, you guys? He has to keep giving money and hoping that money gets to Kawhi. So then that money didn't get to Kawhi. So then what happens? Dennis Wong has to put money in to make sure Kawhi gets his first payment. So you have to keep putting money in and going in deeper and deeper and deeper just to make sure this thing doesn't get exposed. It's just like if you're lying. You have to keep telling lies to make sure that the truth never comes out and sees the light of day. I'm trying to tell people. So what happens? The lies and everything else gets bigger. Right? But as I said to y'all ain't got to listen to me. But you better. You better. Like, share, subscribe, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Appreciate everybody tapping on in. Gone. Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe once again. There are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, straight drought weight loss formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.